Hey, hey, hey. Aloha. God's girl in the building. Aloha. Wonder if any of the saints is up tonight. I know y'all still getting up going to virtual church in the morning, but I know some people catch the replay. Like myself. I rolls over and I catch the replay. Play a little later. After the virtual pews are empty, then that's when I slide in and come to church. Hey y'all, and yes, aloha is a lifestyle, so it doesn't matter whether I'm on the East Coast, the West Coast, or the middle. I take my aloha everywhere that I go. Okay, I am an aloha-holic. See how I just make up words? Because I can do that. So hey y'all, I want to thank everybody for catching the replay. This is just like a little rant I had. Oh, let me make sure I got my tissue too, because baby, I had a moment. So I didn't want to go to sleep on a new day with this. I didn't want to take this into a new day. I wanted to get it out. And it's if no one ever sees this or hears it but me, but it's an accountability thing because I watched the Erykah Badu and Jill Scott versus tonight. And, I pretty much watched the most of them. I saw Teddy and Babyface, incredible. I saw John Key and Hezekiah Walker, also incredible. All songs that I know and love. Um, all songs hold a special place in the soundtrack of my life. Each artist, each song. But there was something different about tonight. Watching Erykah and, excuse my disrespect, Ms. Badu and Miss Scott, the Queen Soul, Neo Soul, Sis Stars, the Queens. They are the queens of that thing. And they, were so humble. I mean, I just saw so much of myself in what they did and how they did it. Sometimes it's not, like I said, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it, but it's what they did, how they did it, what they said, how they said it. And they just gave so much light, so much love, so much energy, so much peace, so much art, so much creativity, so much humility, so much joy, so much amazement. I mean, they were in awe of each other. They were in awe of themselves. And even as they paid homage to the other greats that came before them, before us, because I deem myself as being a part of their time. And, not having the platform that they have, but having a platform, even if it's just this live with this microphone. There are people that, what's the word that I'm looking for? That yield. That's not the word. Well, just appreciate the voice God gave me, that need it. Not that they need me, but they need what He put in me. They need what the Creator created me to do. They need me to pour out what He dumped in for whatever reasons. It's like I needed them and others to pour out what he dumped into them to, you know, aid in my development. So it was such a moment that I had. I literally cried for the better part of 3 hours. And that was about how long the live went on. And I just want to take you back to a time where, and I've seen both ladies live, and each time I was just like, oh, am I dreaming? What in the world? And they were just like incredible. If you have never seen them live, listen, when Outside open back up and they go live again, do whatever you got to do to get there. Because it's not just a show, it's really an experience. It's such, oh my God, I can't even explain it to you. But I've only seen Jill Scott once. I've seen Erykah Badu twice. Now, the first time I saw Erykah Badu was in Atlanta. She was at the Tabernacle. I don't even know if the Tabernacle is still open. It was this building that was kind of like, it was like a church scene, but it was just an open party venue, no seats, no anything. And I will never forget, I was a flight attendant at the time. And this had to been circa, oh boy, I'm dating myself, y'all. Let's see, I moved there in 2001. So this had to been like 02, 03. 02, 03, Erykah Badu, the Tabernacle. And I was a flight attendant at the time, and my hair was a little longer than this, and I was getting it twisted. So my hairdresser at the time was like, you know, Erykah Badu is coming. I was like, what? No, what? And I couldn't buy a ticket. Well, it was already sold out anyway, but either way, by the time I found out it was sold out, but either way, even if it hadn't been sold out, I wouldn't buy a ticket because I was on reserve, meaning on call, and there was no way of knowing if I would even be available to go to the concert. So I'm just like, well, okay, whatever. So it just so happened that I was off the day of the concert. And y'all know me, God's girl. If there's a will, there's a will. I always got a will. But it's that way that we not always sure about. But I was willing. So I will never forget this day for as long as I live. I once I realized I was off, I kind of, you know, piddled about the day, just kind of organizing myself. And I just made up in my mind that I was going out there and somebody was going to sell me a ticket. And I had just, I think, gotten my income tax return. And I was willing to pay whatever it cost because Erykah Badu was, in that time, like one of my favorites, especially in that time. Um, I mean, I never forget when I got her first album, Baduizm, and I just loved it. Like, what in the world? And I remember I was going to ODU, and we were even watching her live, and we were all like, "Who is that? Who is that?" And then live, that had to been around 97, 97, 98 when Baduizm came out. And then when Live came out, Erykah Badu Live came out after Baduizm, I will never forget. I sat there in the dark, just in the quiet, listening to that entire CD. Like, I sat still and listened to it from beginning to end. And I just cried because it was so beautiful, so creative. And I threw Baduizm away. Like, I didn't even want to hear Baduizm anymore. It was all about that live CD. And the song on the live, what really got me on the live CD was Yayo. After I heard Yayo, I was done. Done. Look, where all my Ibadu fans at? What you know about that Yayo? Yayo, yayo. When I wake up in the morning. Listen, I ain't gonna sing it for you. Go get it for yourself. Yay, yo. Matter of fact, just go listen to that whole Erykah Badu live and let it bless your whole soul. Put your candles on, burn your incense, get your tea, whatever you're gonna do, and just strap in for the ride. It is a ride. So that album even started to shape me as an artist. And excuse me, I just began to study Erykah Badu, and a lot of sometimes things that I do come from her. She's definitely an artist that I like to model when I can, and not getting too far from my own original voice. But hey, it's much of what she's done is repeat worthy, and that's the facts on that. So it was just that, just Erykah Badu was just in my soul, especially in that season. And so I made up my mind, whatever it costs. I wasn't off that day for no reason, whatever it costs. I was going to the concert. Asia Bell, what's up? Pastor Yes, what's the word? So when I got home that day after running some errands, my neighbor and I was about to go in the house and get dressed and literally just go stand on the curb at the Tabernacle and see who was going to sell me a ticket, because the scalp was always out there. So when I pulled up to my apartment, my neighbor, who was that? Okay, my neighbor was outside washing his car, and I was like, "Hey, friend, what's up? My car next, right? I got next." And then he's like, "Yeah, sis, he said, I wish I had time." He said, "But I'm gonna have to hook you up later." He said, "Me and mom's about to go to the concert." I said, He didn't even say what concert. When he said the concert, like all black people in Atlanta knew what the concert was. Pastor, yes, you're. So I was like, "No, y'all going to the concert?" And so I commenced to telling him how I had made up in my mind I was just gonna stand out there and do a little something strange for a piece of change. I was like to stand out there and flash some cleavage for a ticket, just whatever I had to do. No, not whatever, y'all. But I was gonna spend whatever I had to spend, like within what was in my pocket. I was gonna spend it for this ticket. And I told him, and he said, "Come with me for a minute." So we go upstairs and we're talking to his mom. And he was like, "Mom," he was like, "Sis trying to go to the concert. She didn't know she was going to be off today. And, you know, she doesn't have a ticket." And Mama looked at me and said, You you want to go with us?" And I was like, "Okay, I'm thinking she got a ticket." Nah. Mama was the whole plug. One of her friends, co-workers or whatever was like the marshal, the fire marshal for the event. But I tell y'all, when God wants you to have something and be somewhere, He will move all of heaven and earth. So I'm across the street from the lady who's a co-worker of a guy who's a fire marshal of this concert. And she was like, "You can just get in with us." I said, "What? I can just get in with y'all? Like, I don't have to pay anything?" She was like, "No, no, no, just come on." I said, "Okay, cool." So, I was like, "Okay, y'all, let me go get dressed." So I'm over there, getting. I'm in the shower. Hey, hey, I'm going to the hey. What you gonna do when they come for you? I'm in the listen. I was doing a pre-concert in the shower, so I get dressed. And I end up riding with them. I was like, "Look, y'all." It was like, trying to figure out the parking. I said, "Come on, we're going to valet. You understand? We're going to park VIP tonight. I got this. I got the parking. I got the bar. We good. Y'all with me now." And sure enough, we parked VIP, bro. And the valet was even cheap. I would never forget this night. I remember every detail about it. I remember what I had on. I remember my twisted hair. I remember even the stilettos I had on, baby. There was something like nubuck color Steve Maddens with a ponytail and a strap around the waist, around the ankle. Oh, they were so fly. But anyway, so we tipping in the concert. I'm like, "Hey, what y'all want? Y'all look, whatever y'all want to drink, We good. Because mind you, I was thinking I was probably about to spend $500 on the ticket. They wanted some ginger ale. I said, y'all all right with me. We can party anytime. So, but I'm glad they had ginger ale because they was driving around this precious cargo. And so I had all they drinks. They got them they ginger ales. And I think I was on White Russian in that season. No, I won't. I was on Grey Goose and Cranberry. So I had the Grand Goose and Cranberry for all of us. I took around for all of us. And so we in there, they got a little local artists in there jamming. We happy to be there. And I'm just sitting here like, I can't believe this. So lo and behold, the guy who twisted my hair that told me about the concert, he saw me and he was like, that fool, like he thought he saw a ghost. Cause no way I'm supposed to be in that concert. He like, friend, how you get in this concert? I said, baby, I'm coming down through the ceiling, baby, through the roof. I'm coming through the walls like Jesus. Don't even, baby, don't try to figure me out. While you trying to figure me out, God had already got me in here, okay? He done worked it out for God's girl. And I wasn't even God's girl in that season. That's the crazy part. I wasn't even God's girl then that I knew of. I didn't know I was God's girl. But I knew that he knew a little something about me. So we in a concert, like boom, we jamming, and I'm just partying and having a good time. She rocking out all the live stuff, all the by then, did we have Mama's Gun by then? There's a lot going on, but anyway, if you have not been to an Erykah Badu show, she doesn't just do what's on her album. And she's a DJ too, so she's just up there spinning. This woman just puts on a whole show. She is an incredible entertainer, not just a singer. So she rapping, she dancing, she spinning, she's sipping her tea, lighting her incense. It's just a whole show. So it was a good time. I mean, it was a great time. So, again, what was this? This was 02, 03. So, rolling tape forward to March 2012, she came to Hawaii. And what you know about that goose, Nessa? Catching the goose, catching the loose. Hey, baby, I can't go hard on that goose no more because so I just had to peel back on a little wine because that goose will have you feeling loose. Hashtag your neighbor and say the goose will have you feeling loose. And I'm too old to be loose, okay? All right. So, yeah, she was in Hawaii. And I wanted to go to that concert. I was like, oh, snap. So I decided, once again, what? I get to see Erykah Badu on this rock? This is crazy. And I said I was going to just get a splurge and get a front row seat. Just boom, all out. VIP, the whole nine. But then in that season, that's when I knew God was talking to me then. I knew God was talking to me in this season of my life. And then he was like, nah, don't get the ticket. I'm like, don't get the ticket? Like, are you freaking kidding me right now? Sir, are you telling this little black girl who in Erykah Badu I live and move and have my being? I mean that, sir. But you get my point. You telling me not to get the ticket to the Erykah Badu show? What is wrong with you? What is happening? He's like, don't get the ticket. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, okay. And you just never know why God is telling you what he's telling you. So I'm sitting there every day, I'm like at work and I'm like clicking on the little concert tickets like, forget him, I'm gonna buy this ticket as if he wouldn't know. But I didn't get the ticket, so I'm just sitting there like pissed. Like, was that my own punishment? Like, what'd I do? Why I can't go to the concert? So a few weeks go by, and here it is, like the week before the concert, and he speaks again. Buy the ticket. I'm like, buy the ticket? Sir, what the bipolar foolery is this? So I'm like, all right. So I get on Ticketmaster.com and I'm looking for the ticket. And now I'm pissed because there are no more VIP tickets. They all gone. I'm like, well, I don't So anyway, and then there were tickets like in between, like the next level next. But I was just like, you know what? If I can't be right on the front, y'all know I'm real spoiled and bougie. If I couldn't be right on the front row, I was just like, forget it. I just bought a general admission ticket and let them put me where they put me. So sure enough, I get the ticket and it puts me like in the nosebleed, like in the back of the arena. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'll be in there, like whatever. So I get to the concert that night and I'm sitting in the back. Now, oddly enough, it wasn't even packed. Like I could have moved up super close for free. But I don't know, I just feel like the Lord was telling me in my spirit just to kind of sit still. Just to sit still and stay right there. And so it was a completely different experience this time. It was different than I guess it had been about 10 years since I saw her in Atlanta. It was different because I was different. I was more mature. I was more discerning. I was closer to kind of knowing my purpose and beyond just being a singer, or knowing what my voice is for other than just singing, and even in the singing, what the purpose is behind the song, if you get what I'm saying. So, I just had a little bit more clarity on who I was. And so it was a completely different experience. So as I'm sitting there, God was like, just take inventory of the whole room, herd, people, just take inventory. So I'm looking at it not just there to be entertained. I'm actually looking at it with a spiritual eye. And what I saw was this. When she was singing and jamming, when she was jamming and going in, the people that were just partying, drinking, turning up, they was doing just that. But in between songs, she would stop and start spitting some supreme knowledge, like going in, talking about gentrification, talking about these like mass suicides, and like this stuff has been going on. The Black Lives Matter, it just didn't have a hashtag yet. And she was just dropping knowledge. And then I noticed that there were people just standing there, like in church. Really, it was like that was their church. Like in that moment, she was their pastor, and they were getting orders and instruction and wisdom, messages from her, and the people that were partying and turning up while she's dropping this knowledge, they just sitting back like unbothered, like, what is she talking about? And then when she started jamming again, she started jamming again. They started jamming again, and then God said, "That's you." And I was just like, whoa. And then he took me to at that point I had the scripture foundation for God's Girl Entertainment, which is Ezekiel 33, 32, 33 around it, and it talks about, hey Patrice girl, hey, and it says that paraphrasing it, the people want to hear you sing, they think you're entertaining, want to see you dance, la la la. He said, but they really don't want to hear the message. And he said, but when it's all said and done, they will know that a prophet has been among them, and that was the message. That's the scripture that is the foundation of God's Girl Entertainment, And that's why I'm even so particular about singing or just doing anything now, because I realize how critical it is. I don't just sing just to be seen, just to be fancy or famous or whatever. I really have to feel like, this is God telling me to do this, because the reality is the core of me is a prophet and I have an assignment, and he wrapped a whole assignment around a pretty voice. That's going to bless somebody. So whatever your gift, whatever your talent is, whatever your special thing is, God will wrap the core of your assignment, be it a prophet, preacher, teacher, whatever. He will wrap all of that around that, because he will wrap it with something attractive to the natural eye. But then when you go in close, you'll give them the things of the spirit. See, a lot of people call me to sing because they just think I can sing pretty. But when I really show up and start, sometimes I'm doing just what she does. I'll just stop singing and not even realize, especially in church, if I'm doing praise and worship, especially, I'll just stop singing and begin to speak words of wisdom, speak knowledge, whatever God is telling me, prophetic utterance. And I was just like, wow. And so I became more guarded with the gift after that. But those were my experiences. And so here I am rolling tape forward. Even with all of that, I know that I should have done more as far as recording, performing, writing. I should have done more. And this is for anybody that cares or don't care. This is a public apology first to God, because he gave me something. Oh my God, Vanessa, thank you for retyping it. You see, I had to pause and breathe. That came straight from the Holy Ghost. Um, that's gonna be a sentence in one of these books. I never heard that before. That was God. So I I should have done more, and I didn't do more. Oh, I'm apologizing first. Let's deal with that. I'm apologizing first to God for burying some gifts. I didn't all the way bury it, but I just didn't activate everything. So it ought to be buried. And girl, I ain't win the daggone money. I think one of your friends won the money. You so crazy. I did not win the money, Patrice. Girl, what you drinking? Sip, sip, pass, honey. I tried to win it though. And so I want to apologize to God for not being a good steward over not just the singing, but so much He has given me. I want to apologize to all of you, and you, because Patrice, child, what you got, Corona or the memory, honey? No. I was one of your friends. I mean, she was good. She could sing, dance, all of this. Baby, I'm a winner in my heart. I'm always a winner, okay? Thank you, Patrice. I'm a winner. Thank you for seeing the winner in me, okay? And I want to apologize to all of you because I have robbed another. That's my favorite emoji. I have robbed the people of a jewel, many jewels, because God has deposited so much in me. I mean, sometimes, not all the time, it is overwhelming how much He has put in me, and it's like a blessing and a curse because I have a short attention span. I struggle with procrastination. B, and then sometimes I'll start working on something and I'll just get so distracted by everything that's in there, and it's hard to prioritize it. Then I end up just doing nothing. So God has, oh my God, He has deposited so many incredible jewels in me, and the journey has, refined it. The fire of the journey has refined it. The pressing, um, of the olive for the oil has made it, just more potent and more pure. The cleansing, the purging, I mean, everything that I have experienced on this journey, good, bad, and the ugly, has just made it that much more rich. And so I apologize for keeping that from you, because I think about, like, tonight when I was watching Erica and Jill Scott, and I cried. I mean, I cried because they have given us their heart, their soul, and they were even saying how there's so much that they have not even produced. And out of all that we've seen and heard from them, there's so much more that they have not put out. And so many of their songs, Lord, thank you, Vanessa, for being my amen corner. So many of their songs and poems and performances have shaped my life and how I think and how I feel and what I know. And I mean, and they're because especially them, they're not just entertainers; they're also teachers, and so they pour out a wealth of wisdom. I mean, there's so much depth to what they do and how they do it. And I was just thinking, if I didn't have Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, for example, etched in the soundtrack of my life, if some of their songs hadn't been spinning, where would I be? Like, some of their songs have really ministered to me. Some of their songs have defined the most incredible moments in my life. Like, this might seem petty to somebody, but I never forget me and one of my best friends growing up, Sonia. After we graduated high school, we were up in DC, and when we first heard Jill Scott "It's Love" drop, I remember we was in Club U on 14th Street. They had a free happy hour, I think every Thursday, and they would have like the live go-go band, or then in between they would have the DJ spinning. And when "It's Love" dropped, we was standing there with chicken wings hanging out of our mouth and green beans and potato salad. We was just jamming "It's Love," and I mean, I just will never forget how much fun we had and how good we felt. I will never forget how good I felt. And it's like it's those moments that in a time like this that you go back and you glean from those and you feast off of them. You feast off of those good memories just to make you feel better in a moment like this. Like I said, I'll never forget when I first listened to the Erykah Badu live CD and how I just sat there in the dark, like nobody touched me, nobody talked, leave me alone. And I wept and I just absorbed the passion that she poured out, and it just made me feel so, I mean, well, I felt everything. I felt happy. I felt sad. I felt confused. I felt love. I felt hate. I mean, I felt everything. And all of those feelings are necessary, and it was just a healthy moment of music, of art, of life, of reminding yourself that your heart is beating and that your brain is thinking. It was just, their music just reminds me of a life well lived, and I just said, God, you put some stuff in me to evoke these same emotions in other people, even myself. They were sitting there just loving on each other, loving their own, what God had done in them. It was, Jill Scott just said several times how it was just so unreal. She never even envisioned seeing all of that happen. Like, and it had just been a journey she could have never written, even though she wrote all them songs and all those poems and did all that she's done. She could have never written this story that she's experiencing called her life, this journey of music, of people, of fans, of whatever, soul. And so I just apologize for holding back, y'all. I apologize for holding back. I'm so sorry. Um, and I'm going to say why in a minute. And then I apologize to myself. I want to apologize to myself because, you know, I deserve to have those kind of memories. I deserve to have that type of presence in this earth realm. No, not because I'm all that, but because my heart is pure. And what I do, everything I do, I mean, but especially what I do musically as an artist or performer or whatever you want to call it. I don't really consider myself as much as an entertainer. I'm not. Well, when it comes to me just talking and being silly, yes. But when it comes to me singing, I'm really what I call just a flat-footed singer. I ain't doing no dancing or two-stepping. I'm just gonna stand and get this mic and I'm gonna sing, and that's that. That's all I'm gonna do. I ain't gonna two-step. I ain't gonna do none of that. I'm just gonna get this microphone and I'm gonna sing. If it's R&B or something, I'm gonna snap my finger a little bit. If it's gospel, I'm gonna close my eyes and lift my hands and just fall off into the 5,000, into the 5,000 holies, I'm just going to sing. That's that. I'm not trying to even do anything else fancy. Because I am just as in awe of what comes out of my mouth as anybody else is. Because I'm like, God, you using anybody out here in these streets. You use this little crazy little girl right here. So it be unreal to me sometimes when I can have an opportunity to record and go back and listen to what God did through this piece of clay. So, I deserve to be able to look at myself in that light. Why? Because God did it. He made me for it. So, and I do what I do with a pure heart. With a pure heart, with the purest heart and motive, and it's to just share the gift that God gave me to uplift, inspire, encourage, whatever those that hear it, including myself. Because sometimes I minister to me through my own voice. God ministers to me through my own words, through my own sounds. And when I go back and I listen to myself, I'm the most inspired listening to myself than anybody else because I know the position of my heart. Not that I don't know a million other singers that can do it better than me. That's completely not it. But because I know the position of my heart when I go forward to share in song in particular. That's what I'm talking about in particular. So, oh man, this, so after watching Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and crying, but I'm telling y'all, I promise, for the better part of the 3 hours they was on there, because the music was just like, oh, they were just reminding me of all these pretty songs that I have just loved for the past 20 years, or better, almost 25 years. Oh, I'm getting old, y'all. Your girl gonna be 42 next month. Me, this girl. In a month, June the 11th, 42. With all these gray hairs, Lord, what are you going to do? Oh, God bless you, Vanessa. Thanks for listening. Good night. So, a lot of reasons, I've held back for a lot of reasons. One, being fear. Not necessarily the fear to just do it, but the fear of kind of like the aftermath of it. Like, I got a lot of A's because they're all equally important. Okay? So you start counting my A's or one, because they all A and number one. They all important. Okay? So, I adore. I mean, I yearn, I crave anonymity. Like, I just like being myself. And not that, so I never want to take the risk of being famous. Believe it or not, y'all, I do not want to be famous. Believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe because I'm kind of famous, but I didn't make myself like that. Y'all made me famous. No, seriously. I just appreciate just walking down the street being regular. Even now, okay, no, I'm not famous, but people see you on stages, so they think they know you or they know of you. So even if I'm just trying to sit at IHOP and have a pancake with friends and family, if someone has seen me perform and they appreciated what they saw and what they heard, they will just invite themselves to come and speak and tell you, da, 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 da. And sometimes they want to keep carrying a conversation, and it's okay, it's harmless, and I appreciate that they appreciate it. But really, in this moment, I just want to eat pancakes with my people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I just like being a regular person. I do. I just like, because the people that are close to me know that I'm real. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm real crazy with my people, but my people are my people. I don't make a whole lot of new friends. I don't have a lot of friends. I am, how do I say it? Popular, but not, I don't even know the word to use, but even though I know a lot of people, I know of a lot of people, I'm still just kind of to myself. I don't deal with a lot of people. Yeah, not secretive, but private. if that makes sense. Okay. So, I never wanted to really run the risk of maybe being famous because it's just too much. And then there's the rich thing because people always want something from you. And because you can sing or have certain talents and things that I have, somebody always wants something from you. And sometimes I just don't want to be wanted nothing from. Listen, y'all, it's after midnight. You can miss me with the grammar critiques because I don't really care. I'm going to be grammatically incorrect on purpose. How about that? Because I can. And yeah, people have robbed me so bad because I have so much favor and so much things, even money, so much has passed through my hands. And even though my journey has looked like I've lacked a lot, but it's not that I've lacked because I haven't had the resources, but because they've passed through my hands. They didn't really stick around for me to glean from. And I just feel like I just want to be able to do what I can do, what I can do. I don't want people just coming to me asking me for stuff all the time because sometimes it's too much. And I'm not even really just talking about money. Like I just don't want people to come to ask me for stuff all the time. Like I want to be secretly wealthy. Like that's why I have businesses that I build and I'm working on, but I don't want to be publicly wealthy. I don't want to be famous wealthy. I just want to be like wealthy, a no-name wealthy person. And then so when I decide and it's my heart to give or to do, I can just do it. I can be anonymous and nobody knows. But see, if you're famous wealthy, then people know. And so they're always coming for you, asking or whatever they're trying to do. And then again, it's not just about money. It's about your time, your talents, just whatever. And I know that's kind of petty, but this is my truth. This is my truth. I'm just explaining why I have been hesitant to really push forward in this thing. And it's a lot. It's a lot I could say, but my number one purpose for coming on here was to create somewhat of a time capsule um, that I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna put some stuff out into this earth, into the atmosphere that's gonna bless all of us. It's gonna bless all of us. I need it. Y'all need it. Um, God desires it, which is the most important. Because if He didn't, He wouldn't have put it in me if He didn't expect for it to come back out. He, God is like an Indian giver. He give it to you, but He want it back because He wants to put it on display. So you can be like, yeah, I did that. So who am I to suppress His glory being made evident in this earth through me? Who am I to suppress that? I am God's girl, and I will pursue. I will pour out all that I can of what God has put in me. I will not be selfish another day. I will not be selfish another day. I will not be selfish another day. And when y'all don't hear from me or you see me goofing off and fooling around, chin check me and be like, look, girl, what you doing? You got right on that live and said with that little microphone in your natty head and your unibrow, because outside is closed, you can't get an haircut or your brows waxed. I know that ain't the point, but I'm just get into this unibrow. But look, girl, you said that you were gonna give it up and turn it loose. You were gonna let go and let God have it and let us have it. So please remind me. Please chin check me on the virtual tip. You see me walking down the street, don't touch me, because if you touch me, I'm gonna touch you. Okay? We will lay the hands on you. We'll knock you right on out in the middle of the street and lay hands on you, you can recover. To try it again another day. All right. So I feel so much better now that I did that. It was pressure. I said I was going to wait and talk about it a few days later, but I couldn't even sleep thinking about it because I needed to hold myself accountable. And I'm depending on you to hold me accountable. And it's obviously it's not about me being on big stages and none of that. Because the reality is I've been on big stages. God has taken me on the most unique journey. I have not achieved fame, on a global level or nothing like that. However, I've been on the stages that the famous people have been on, not even trying, all over the country, including Hawaii, the 50th state. I've been on stages in DC, of course, all over Virginia, Atlanta, Delaware, all on cruise ships and other islands down in the like the Jamaicas and the Bahamas. I mean, I've been on enormous stages, not even trying to be international stages, international audiences, even in the church, out the church, in the clubs, in the world, on cruise ships, on local dinner ships, on parks and arenas. Wow, I mean, God has really opened some very unique doors for Him. It wasn't for me, it was for what He put in me. It was for His glory to be made manifest. That's the part we don't seem to get. Like, all we have to do is just be obedient. We don't have to push and promote and do all of this. If God put it in, He's going to create the space for it to come out. He's going to create it. All you got to do is just be obedient, be willing, and be, that's it. And He'll say, go that way, go that way. And that has been my journey. So although I'm not what people would call famous, I've been on the big stages. And to me, it wasn't like, oh, I'm all that. But it's like, wow, God, me? Each time it's just like, me? Sir? Okay, well, all right, let's rock. If we going, let's go. So I just want to thank y'all for listening. Please keep me in prayer because my mental does so much. It fights me so bad. This thing right here is my greatest opponent. Okay, it fights me so bad. But I don't have time to keep fighting with this thing. I just gotta do it. So I pray you, God, and myself receive my humble apology for holding back and not giving you what God gave me to give you. I am so sorry. My deepest apologies for being selfish. And this is my oath to move forward. This is my oath to move forward. I will move forward. I will pour it out. So, y'all about to catch me dripping some of this oil out on you. I'm gonna do it. And trust, it's more than singing. It's so much that God has put in me. Like, woo. But you know what? I don't even have to talk about it. I'm just gonna be about it. You'll see. So stay tuned. Aloha. I love you to life. Thanks for listening. Guys, girl.